the deal? What is going down? Make sure you hit that like button when you come through here. Make sure you hit the like button when you come through here. What is the deal? What is the deal? What is the deal? I'm gonna let some more of y'all come through here real quick before we get started. Let some of y'all come through here before we get started real quick. Make sure you hit that like button. What's good with you? What's good with you? What's good with you? Yeah, I know you see it. I know you see it. It's gonna be New Jersey's coming in, so we ain't seeing these no more. But how about them Texans already? Make sure that like button. I see y'all coming through here, man. So let's get talking about it because again, like I told y'all last week, your boy was under the weather. That's the reason why I wasn't able to do a whole bunch of live streams and wasn't able to record because we were under the weather last week. But hey, we back, and I've been hearing a lot of talk, a lot of great talk actually about the Houston Texans, and even with that great talk, you also have people to give the opposite side of it. And I want to talk about, are the Texans being overhyped? Are we being gassed up? We starting to smell ourselves? Are the fans walking around here talking crazy? Or are people hating? Or this team really is a legitimate team and a legit threat? I mean, I seen that Keyshawn Johnson initially after the trade for Stefon Diggs said the Houston Texans are right underneath the Kansas City Chiefs in this bout. He said they're right there with the Baltimore Ravens. Now, if I'm not mistaken, him and some other people both said they'd give us the edge over the Ravens. I know a lot of that got to do with they really don't know what's going on with the Cincinnati Bengals. We don't know if they're going to still have T. Higgins, and also what is going to bring back from Joe Burrow. And I think a lot of people obviously are discounting and taking away the Buffalo Bills from the equation because of the Stefon Diggs trade, and we don't know what they're going to do. They already lost Gabe Davis. They lost a lot of pieces on defense, especially in the secondary, which is going to basically cause some huge problems, especially in this conference in the AFC. So, are the Houston Texans, like I said, are they being overhyped? Are they being gassed up? To me, it seems like the Texans have been assembled like the Avengers. Honestly, like Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs is like Thanos. And the Houston Texans have been assembled like they've been assembled like the Avengers. Like it's just, I mean, you got, it's the first time ever in NFL history that 1,000 yard, 100 catch, 1,000 yard receiver, a 10 plus sack defensive player, and also a 1,000 yard rusher all come together on one team. Not to mention, and you add that, and that gets added to a team that already had a 4,000 yard passer in C.J. Stroud, and also had a 1,300 yard receiver already on the roster themselves with Nico Collins. So it just seems like the Texans. But I mean, then you got with a DB that catches 5 interceptions. I don't think he had 10 pass deflections. I think he was right there almost with 10 pass deflections. So yeah, it's crazy. Like, it really is like the Houston Texans have been assembled. Like the Avengers, y'all see somebody say Texans are simple. that should be their call. Caleb, shout out to Caleb, man. That should be their call. That should be their call in the huddle. Like, we got Texans form. Like, Texans assemble. Like, it should be Texans assemble. But that's what it seems like. And it does seem like, I mean, more. I've never seen this much enthusiasm and this much hype and chatter talked about the Houston Texans in any capacity. Because like I see you say about one, people never talked about Dre. Like people never talked about Andre Johnson. While he was in the midst, and I guess because the Texans were a relevant football team. The only Texan who really got some real exposure, the first one obviously was JJ. But I always talk about JJ Watt in the Houston Texans like they used to talk about Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5. It was like he was separate from the Houston Texans. Like how people consider like Michael Jackson separate from the Jackson Five. That's how they would treat J.J. Watt. They would talk about J.J. Watt separate from the Houston Texans. It wasn't like that he was a part of the Houston Texans team. Uh, and then like Deshaun Watson, I think again they want to like Deshaun Watson because of the whole Clemson situation. And then this is before things even got weird with Deshaun Watson. I just think that people just generally just stopped really caring and didn't really it didn't even people really stopped caring and didn't really talk about it anymore. So it was kind of like it was weird, like when it came to Deshaun Watson. Uh, this time here is different. Like it seems like with like the darlings of the NFL, everybody is on board. Everybody's looking at the Houston Texans and they looking like, hey, this team can cause some absolute problems. This might be the best chance of a team to really go out there and dethrone Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs for real. And we're not talking about, Joe Burrow's already beat Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. Like a team that actually to dethrone and actually have actual staying power because C.J. Stroud was a 4,000-yard passer and looked like was a franchise quarterback and was in the MVP conversation without Stefon Diggs. It's not like with Josh Allen. Josh Allen career elevated once Stefon Diggs got there. And Stefon Diggs' career elevated with Josh Allen, absolutely, but they both elevated their careers. CJ doesn't need that elevation. Nico Collins doesn't need Nico Collins and them doesn't need Stefon Diggs to elevate them. Joe Mixon is 1,000-yard rusher. Joe Mixon doesn't need that. Like these guys that's on the offense don't need Stefon Diggs. They've done it. Some like guys like Joe Mixon's done it years without Stefon Diggs and played with Joe Burrow and played with a T. Higgins and a Jamar Chase. It's been to two AFC Championship games. It's been to a Super Bowl. And then C.J. Stroud, even though it was his rookie year, he was able to be rookie year without a Stefon Diggs. So none of these guys on the Texans need Stefon Diggs. And Stefon Diggs doesn't really need the Texans. Stefon Diggs has been a 100 catch, 1,000-yard receiver without any of these guys on the Texans. So you get all these guys outside collectively to do all these different things, and you put them on one team. You kind of imagine, okay, hey, this could be a very, very dangerous squad. This could be a very, very dangerous squad. Then you add on the defensive side because this one gets lost in translation. Because we've been talking about Stefon Diggs in this offense for the past week now. But we keep on forgetting that we had the defensive rookie of the year in Will Anderson. You just added a 16, I'm sorry, a 16 sack edge rusher to Daniel Hunter. You had the defensive player of the month in Stingley as a cornerback. You had Christian Harris, who the last month of the season, especially in the playoffs, came into his own and was actually looking like a dominant linebacker. And then you also got Guy Petrie, who fell on hard times his sophomore slump. But don't forget, had 5 interceptions, 150 tackles, forgot how many pass deflections his rookie year. And like I said, he could have had 200 tackles, could have had 10 interceptions his rookie year. Even though I talk about Jaden Petrie a lot, I get on Jaden Petrie a whole lot because I expect him to play better. I expect him to play at all pro level. And the thing is, the Texans still have salary cap. I also want to talk about that too, because that's another thing. I've seen some people debate and switch. Some people were excited when we signed Stefon Diggs, and then once the whole the contract information leaked or came out that we voided the last 3 years of his deal. So basically, he has a 1-year contract for I think like 22 million, 22.5 million dollars, and basically we use a second round pick as a rental. People have now become upset with the deal. Again, like I said before, I do believe that Stefon Diggs is a crybaby, and I do believe that Stefon Diggs is a whiner and he's a diva, and eventually he like his characteristics does end up, wear thin in the locker room, and eventually, uh, um, he has an expiration date, like a glass of milk. However, I've always said this. I never thought or never think that was going to be a problem in Houston for a multitude of reasons. The main reason is because of C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud going to check that at the door, and he's going to check that in the huddle. You got people like, and then in the locker room, I believe Will and Daniel Hunter and Jimmy Ward and Joe Mixon. They'll check that in the locker room too. Like that's not coming out the locker room. I don't think CJ letting it come out the huddle, but it's not coming out the locker room. And then even still, it's not. It's going to get checked by D'Amico Ryans if it ever got that far. I don't think it ever get that far. But in saying that, you also do want to do your due diligence, and I do believe that knowing that he doesn't have 3 years left on his deal, knowing that it's still money left to be on there's still money on the table, knowing that it's basically a last chance you type situation, like Nick Casario understands that, and that's part of the reason why I believe Nick Casario did what he did. Because again, guy was already on the contract for 3 years, and actually, because if you looked at it, the money itself, it did. There was no dead cap on the Texans. The Texans basically only was on the hook for this season, regardless, and then the last 3 years, it was up to them if they wanted to pay it, because they could just let them go, or they could pay him, like I think it was like 19, 18. It never went up. So, and then like there was no dead cap, so the Texans at their discretion was able to pay him not. I see more people jump to him. Make sure you hit that like button. More people jump to the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. Comment, let me know what y'all think too. Make sure you hit that like button. Definitely appreciate that. Uh, he understands that, and like, hey, I could, I can keep him on the contract, but no, I want to make sure that he's on his best behavior. One way to do that is to make sure that he doesn't have any guaranteed money. Make sure to do that is that he's playing for a contract. So he doesn't have a contract anymore. I just void the last 3 years, and we're going to get the most out of Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs is not going to be a problem. He's not going to whine. He's not going to cry. He's not going to complain, because if he does, he more than likely will be out the NFL. So he's not going to do that. He's not about to whine and cry and complain and do all that funny and finicky stuff. He's not about to do that. He's about to go out there and play football with the best quarterback that he's ever played with the best collection of weaponry as far as receivers and offensive skill positions and tight ends and play calling that he's had before. This is the best team that Stefon Diggs has ever been on, from top to bottom, offensively and defensively. It is. It's the best team he's ever been on. It's probably the most highest expectation too, because now the expectation about the Texans being the second best team in the AFC, like, were the Bills? I know the Bills made it to an AFC Championship game his first year in Buffalo. That was in 2020. Were the Bills considered the second best team in the AFC going into that season? They might have been up in 2020. They might have been. I don't know if they were. They could have been. They could have been. But I'm not 100% sure. We all know from 2020 to 2023 was a very dark time as Texan fans. We possibly didn't really care too much about the rest of the NFL because of the sourness that we had of our own franchise. So excuse me if I misremember, because I don't believe they were, but they could have been. I know they made it to a conference championship game. I know they made it to the divisional round and lost to the Chiefs, and then made it to another division round, lost to the Bengals in that 2020, 21, 2022 span, then also lost in the divisional round last year with this past season in 2024. So, 2023. So I understand that I don't know. Again, I don't remember if they were considered the second best team in the AFC. Now, this is the expectation going in. So at the very least, it's rivals the highest expectation he's ever had. Because he's been to conference championship games, been to an NFC championship game and an AFC championship game. So this actually rivals the highest expectations he's ever been on. I definitely believe this is the best team that he's ever been on. From quarterback to receivers to defense to running backs to coaching staff. It's the best team in the best situation that he's ever possibly been in on the NFL level. And again, he's going to come in motivated, and Nick Casario did exactly what he needed to do to make sure of that. Nick Casario did exactly what he needed to do as far as the contract. I do believe his attitude or whatever the situation was at both Minnesota and in Buffalo years prior alluded to that, and that's the reason why you end up. Because I think again, if he was a mild citizen, if he was like a perfect teammate, he would be in Buffalo right now. I mean, if he was a perfect teammate, he might be in Minnesota right now. But if he was a perfect teammate, he would be in Buffalo right now. Still, he would be. He would be. I do believe that some of his antics and some of the situation was completely overblown. I believe that some of it has to do with the perception that you already have of a player. I know we see the reports earlier that came up when like whatever he said to Joe Burrow, or not Joe Burrow, whatever he said to Josh Allen after the season opener, Josh Allen like had got into it with him and cussed him out, says one blanking game. We know all the things about him not showing up at camp or him leaving camp early. I know McDermott gave him a pass. Uh, ain't no passes. Like I've never seen a head coach give a pass to anybody, let alone a star player in the middle of training camp while you're in trying to compete for a championship. The only one I can think of is when Tom Brady was gone, and we come to find out later that obviously he was going through a divorce. And one is Tom Brady, who's already won the Super Bowl, the greatest football player of all time, greatest quarterback of all time, and again, he was going through a divorce, which is a personal issue. He was basically trying to save his marriage, even though he failed in it. But he was trying to save his marriage. It seems like I think that's a little bit different. Uh, Other than that, I've never known a coach to let any player, let alone a star player, leave in that aspect. And then also, like initially, he made it seem like it was an issue. Then came out that I think he just came out to save face when he said that he gave him time off. He did. I think he was just out to save face. Whatever happened, happened. I think something happened in the locker room. Something happened behind the scenes, and we don't know. We don't know if Buffalo fans are or Buffalo players rather in the locker room like, whoo man, I'm glad Diggs gone, man. I'm glad, I'm so glad he's gone. We don't know that, and again, that has nothing to do with us because he's using Texas now. I don't believe any of those things are going to be an issue. Don't believe any of those things are going to be an issue. But I say all that to say this about the money. I think it's a great job by Nick Casario. One, it obviously keeps flexibility because I don't believe if it to be honest, I think if it comes down to both Stefon Diggs and Nico, because obviously Nico will be a free agent unless he gets a contract extension. And I actually believe Nico gets a contract extension before the season starts. I still believe that even with this, I actually think even more so with you adding Stefon Diggs and also the fact that Stefon Diggs' 3 years has been voided. I believe that Nico gets a contract extension, and I don't think that you're paying two receivers like $25+ million. So I don't know that Stefon Diggs is on this team after the season. I give it 3 years max, more than likely two, but I think it might be done after this season. But 3 years max. I don't see him being on the Texans for more than 3 years. And again, I think that's pushing it. I really believe that. I do believe that that's more so us pushing it. Him being on the team past 3 years. You're talking about a guy who'll be 31 in November. I think that he's gonna have a good season this year. I've been saying it since we've made the trade. I feel like that he's gonna lead the team in catches. I don't think he's gonna get 100 catches, but because we're gonna spread the football around, there's no need for him to get 100 catches. So I believe he's gonna lead the team in catches. I don't think he's gonna lead the team in yards or touchdowns. I think that goes to Nico with the yards and Tank with the touchdowns. I've been saying that since we made the trade, and I'm going to continue to say that until proven otherwise. Or unless my mind changed, which I don't think it's changed. So I do think that he's going to end up leading the team in catches, but I do believe that Nico end up leading the team in yards. And I believe the Texans are going to be a very prolific offense because one, CJ Stroud's a very prolific passer. And I believe that they're going to be able to spread the football around. They're going to be able to keep defenses on their toes. They're going to be able to do a whole bunch of things exactly. I think that Bobby Slowick is going to be able to come up with a whole bunch of different type of path concepts and route concepts and things like that to get these guys the football and be able to make plays up and down the field, middle of the field, side of the field. They're going to be able to make plays all over the field, able to move the football. I ain't gonna say relatively easy, but able to move the football very, very well and very, very efficiently, put up a lot of points, put up a lot of wins, and I do believe they will be in the AFC Championship game. Now, will they get to a Super Bowl? Only time will tell, but I definitely believe they will make it at the very least to an AFC Championship game, if not further out, and actually bring the whole thing home. When we talk about the contract, the Texans are not paying anybody money. These are the top five caps. This is the top five cap hit for the Houston Texans. And number one is Larry Tunsil with 25.8. Number two is Stefon Diggs at 22.5. Number three is Daniel Hunter at 13.7. Number four is Robert Woods, which is very interesting because we wonder if Robert Woods is still going to be on this team after the addition of Stefon Diggs. If Robert Woods is going to be at this team, Robert Woods is at 9.7. You can save $5 million if you cut him. And number five is Darius Stingley at 9.4. Those are the top five guys at cap hit. Larry Tunsil with 25.8 cap hit. Stefon Diggs with a 22.5 cap hit. Daniel Hunter 13.7 cap hit. Robert Woods 9.7 cap hit. And Darius Stingley $9.4 million cap hit. Woods getting cut soon. I could definitely see that. I could definitely see Woods getting cut soon. I could definitely see that. This gonna cut soon. And prime time, do I still think the Texans are gonna draft a receiver? Yes, I do. I don't think it'll be at 42. Uh, I think the earliest will be 59 or some type of move up. Maybe if they move up to 50 or something like that. Maybe I think that depends more so how the draft board is falling. If not, I think they'll possibly take one. Take Javon Baker, receiver at UCF. I believe they really like him. They've had a lot of different information and contact with him. They met him at the pro day. I mean, at the Senior Bowl. Met him at the combine. I believe he's already had his pro day, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously, they brought him in for a top 30 visit. So they've talked to him at least three, if not four times, on different settings, different situations, different scenarios. So I do believe that they will draft. I do believe if it becomes, I'm gonna say an issue, but if it becomes an opportunity for them to take them, I'm not saying take them high, but an opportunity to come take them in the fourth round, I do believe that they will pull the trigger and they will go out there and draft Javon Baker, unless they end up drafting a receiver in the second round at pick 59 or possibly like pick 50. Like if Troy Franklin falls to like 54, I could see Nick Casario moving up to get Troy Franklin. I can see if Keon Coleman falls to 59, the Texans take Keon Coleman. I can see Xavier Legend if he somehow fell to the third round or something to those type of sentiments, something to that type of capacity. I don't think who knows if AD Mitchell falls to pick 42, would they take a stab at it? I doubt it. But hey, if a receiver like AD, who I believe fits the Texans extremely well, would have if that a move like that would happen, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Texas, Nick Casario has everything wide open when it comes to the draft. He can do exactly what he wants to do. There's no right or wrong answer. There's no why did you draft that position. he can make any type of position. I guess the only thing would be drafting a quarterback in the first and then the second round, or drafting a kicker or a punter or something like something to those type of effects. But outside of something like that, I do believe he can and would has the opportunity to draft anybody that falls at any type of position. It's not going to be specific. It's not going to be position specific when it comes to him in this draft. I feel like he really is going to draft best player available according to his board. That's why he says his board is a lot smaller than other teams, and I believe that that's part of the reason why he constantly keeps seventh and sixth round picks and trades up. Because if you notice, he trades up in every draft he's been in. Every single draft that he's been, I talk about ad nauseum when it comes to receivers, that he's traded up for every receiver. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Mechie, and Hutchinson. He's traded up for all these receivers, but it's not just receivers. Outside, CJ Stroud last year was the only person that he stuck and picked. That's the only player that he picked at his actual original position. Everybody else, from Will to Juice Scruggs to Tay Dale to Total to Passer, everybody after CJ Stroud last year, Nick Casario moved up to get. If it was moved up into the next round, if it's moved up 2 or 3 picks, he constantly moves up and down in the draft, and that's why he likes to keep those seventh and sixth round picks, so he'd be able to use those as little bargaining chips and use those as little, I don't know, paying taxes on the dollar type situation to be able to move around and move up and down the draft board more frequently and more fluidly. So I think I do believe when he says that his draft board is smaller than other teams. That's the reason why he's constantly always trading up and also trading back, because he only has a select few of players who he wants to acquire to the team. And again, he's doing a phenomenal job, because the Texans definitely look like a team to be reckoned with for the next couple of years. Like, he definitely looks like definitely looks like somebody who's able to be reckoned with for the next couple of years. I mean, and I do believe, because you see other fan bases saying that the Texans are gassed up and the Texans will always be a losing franchise. Yeah, I'm not taking nothing from a franchise that has a history of losing. I think that's one of the most stupid. I can't stand that sentiment that because you never won, you'll never will win. That makes no sense. I know we talk about history of teams and things like that. Y'all do understand. I'm gonna say we all, because some people don't for some reason. You do understand and realize that those other teams, those previous teams, have zero. I know you fellas know my name, man. Has zero to do with the team that's currently on the field or currently being built right now. When it comes to any type of sport, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't matter that, the Texans have problems winning in Indianapolis. The last 2 years, one year we ain't want to win back in 2021 or 2022, and then this past year in 2023, it was a game that needed to be won for the play to get into the playoffs, and the Texans was able to pull out a victory. So, like, that doesn't mean anything what happened the years prior. It doesn't. It don't matter. It don't matter at all. It doesn't matter what the team records are or any of that. None of that matters. Only thing that matters is what you putting up for. So that whole notion that the Texans ain't never won me. What were the Chiefs before Patrick Mahomes? What was the New England Patriots before Tom Brady? Like, the Cowboys have a history of winning. What is that doing for them now? Pittsburgh has a history of winning. What is that doing for them now? By and large, the 49ers won the last two Super Bowls that they appeared in, because both that franchise and Kyle's dad have history in winning championships. None of that has anything to do with that. Like, none of that history stuff has. I just don't. I just like. I think it's a weak argument. I think it's low hanging fruit. I never understood the argument. Never did. So again, I think people just have to cope. Like, people just gotta find a way to be okay. Hey, they're not doing nothing this year. It's all gassed up. And the thing is, I would accept it more if they would admit that to some degree. Like if they'd be like, hey, they still got proof on the field. They look good on paper. I ain't gonna lie, they look good on paper, but still got they got proof on the field. You don't win in the off season. You win on the field. I understand that. But if you say that, I'm cool. I'm not saying nothing right now. We not even talking about right now. I'm like, hey man, we gotta prove. We gotta prove. I'm echoing what you said. But when you say stuff like, oh man, Texas ain't never been good. They ain't gonna be good again. I feel like that's stupid. I do. I feel like that's dumb. I don't like that. I really don't. I think that's dumb. It's like some people who are Cowboy fans and they constantly talk about the history with Thanksgiving, with Christmas or whatever the case may be, and they constantly talking about the history about the Dallas Cowboys and what they're gonna do. I don't care none of that history stuff. All that's on paper. None of that matters about what's going on right now. And that's what you have like fans doing right now. They're trying to like they don't have nothing to hold on to, so they gotta CJ's Dak Prescott. Oh, CJ, remember Dak Prescott had a good rookie year. That one, like you're being disingenuous because Dak Prescott was put on a team that was built for Tony Romo to go and win a championship. They had one of the best, if not the best, offensive line football. You had a solid running game with Ezekiel Elliott. Had Des Bryant, who was already a 1,000-yard receiver prior, already a Pro Bowl. I'm assuming Des Bryant was an All Pro before that. I know he was a Pro Bowl before that. Type of receiver opposite. You also had was it Jason Witten? Yeah, you had Jason Witten too. Like you had other options, and basically Dak was able just to sit back and be able to grow into that spot. When it comes to CJ the Texans, CJ literally had to make the team good because the team was not a good football team, and he basically had to raise the play and raise the talent and raise how people perceived the Houston Texans just by the way he played alone. So to sit up and say it's the same as Dak Prescott is wrong and false and completely disingenuous. I mean, you're not telling tell the whole facts. Tell about how good Dallas was before they got Dak Prescott, and tell how putrid the Houston Texans were before we got C.J. Stroud. Then we could talk about it. But if you're going to negate both of those facts of history, then you have no leg to stand on. You have no merit. So it is what it is. I believe, like I said, the Houston Texans are in a prime position. I believe that they're the best team in the AFC South. I believe they're one of the best teams in the AFC. And, I believe they're going to make it to the AFC Championship game. And yeah, I see why people are gassing and overhyped. Like I said earlier, it's like the Texans are the Avengers and Patrick Mahomes is the Thanos to the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, well, him and the Kansas City Chiefs are the Thanos, and the Texans are like the Avengers. Because I feel like that's what I feel like if we get to an AFC Championship game versus the Chiefs, I feel like majority of America is going to be rocking with the Houston Texans, which is weird. Because again, I can be objective and sit back. If I was a Texans fan and sit back and look at them as Stefon Diggs and see what Nico Collins did this past year, and seeing how good CJ played, how good the defense played with Will Anderson with Rookie of the Year, I definitely would probably more likely be like, hey, they got proof on the field, but I ain't gonna lie, they a good team though. They a scary team, but hey, they're a scary team. So I feel like if I was an outside fan, that's how I would feel. But hey, I ain't gonna lie, this Texas team is kind of scary. This offense, like I think it was Chris Broussard said, they not scary, they terrifying. Like they can make some noise, and again, and people forget to talk about people forget to talk about what we done on the defensive side of the football. Because all people have been talking about is Stefon Diggs. This Texas team was already, before any of these additions of the offseason, was a top 14. They were the 4th seed already going into the playoffs. They were the 4th seed. They made it to the division round, one playoff game, so they ended off the season, ended off the regular season as a top 14 by being the 4th seed going to the playoffs, division winner, and then they ended out because they won a playoff game, ended their season off in the final four of the AFC It was the Texans, the Baltimore Ravens, the Bengals, and the not Bengals, but the Bills and the Chiefs. Those were the final four teams of the AFC. And the Texans were already there without Stefon Diggs, without Danielle Hunter, without Joe Mixon. And then you add all those different talents. People tend to forget how good this team really was. And you add all these talent, all these pieces, and all these players around. That's the reason why people are saying that the Texans are scary, bro. That's the reason why the people are saying, hey, this is a team to watch. That's the reason why people are saying that this is the second best team in the AFC behind the two-time defending champs, Kansas City Chiefs. Even though they got rid of Snead, we have to be respectful for a team that just won back-to-back Super Bowls and has been to what 7 straight AFC Championship games. We have to be respectful of that. I get it. And you're not going to hit no argument about that. I understand that you have to be respectful to that. So that's why we're not going to say they're the best team in the AFC. That's why we're going to say they're the second best team in the AFC. The Texans are without a shout of a doubt the second best team in the conference behind the Kansas City Chiefs. They're above the Bengals in my opinion because they're a more complete team than the Bengals. The Ravens lost a lot of players on defense. That Ravens team that we lost to a divisional round is not the same Ravens team that's going to be in the playoffs, and is a and worse. Just like we're not the same team that was in the playoffs, but we're better. They're not the same team that was in the playoffs, and they're worse. And then the Buffalo Bills, we just took away their best offensive weapon. We just took their best offensive weapon and added it to us. Added to us. Not replacing. He was a complete 100% addition. Bro, the Dolphins couldn't do anything. The Bengals will have to see exactly what goes on with Joe Burrow. I'm Russell Wilson, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're not doing anything. And the AFC South is not doing anything with Trevor Lawrence and Will Levis and AR. This is again like we forget the Jets. This is the thing about the Jets because I believe Buffalo missing or making the playoffs has almost everything to do with the New York Jets. Because I can see the New York Jets missing the playoffs. And I also see the New York Jets being in a conference championship game too. So I don't know what really goes on. What's going to go on with the New York Jets? Because if Aaron Rodgers comes back healthy and plays how we know Aaron Rodgers to play, then the Jets might be one of the best teams in football, and it's definitely in that mix. But if Aaron Rodgers is hurt, constantly getting hurt, or if Aaron Rodgers actually just doesn't play good because he's 40 years old, I don't know what the Jets are going to bring to the table, honestly. And the thing is, like we've been talking, I know how before the draft process we be talking about, especially these guys are CJ and Bryce, they're gonna be joined at the hip for the rest of their careers, and they're both gonna be drafted in the draft, and they went to high school, all these different things. Unless Bryce Young takes an incredible step forward and CJ takes a step back, those guys are in completely different stratospheres, and I don't think you're going to be comparing CJ and Bryce for a long time because CJ with these additions, what CJ's already done on the field, not to mention what Nick Casario had to do with these additions. Uh, CJ's in the whole CJ's in a whole different realm right now. CJ's in a whole different class right now. So uh, definitely be able to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So I definitely believe they'd be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and be able to be I'm saying MVP status, obviously Super Bowl championship status, all those different type of things, and he has all those things ready and available for him year one. Like I mean, year two. I'm sorry, year two. He could be the MVP and win a Super Bowl championship in year two. He could. The true definition. True. Yeah. I mean, think about it. Joe Burrow makes a Super Bowl, wins comeback play his second year. Both Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes both win the MVP their second year. So I definitely believe CJ wins the MVP, and I think he's in the mix for AFC Championship game. I definitely believe that. I believe that. Super Bowl confirmed. Huh. Yeah, I mean, they definitely did say QBA, QB1. Remember, people wanted us to be tanking for Caleb Williams or Quaden Ewers or Shadur Sanders. So, I mean, we definitely got a franchise guy. I mean, we definitely do. We got the guy who's going to be able to elevate the franchise and make the franchise better. And that's the reason why people are walking around here, like I say, are gassed up the Texans. The Texans have arguably, I don't know if people have even paid attention and realized this, that the Texans, no matter how you slice it and think about it, the Texans have a top 10 receiver. I don't think he's top five. I think Stefon Diggs is falling out of the top five. I think Stefon Diggs is in the top 10. Nico Collins is on the fringe. He's almost a top 10. You could legitimately put Nico in that 11 to 12 range. So you got one receiver in the top 10. You got another receiver. So you got two receivers in the top 15. And then no matter where you put Tank, if it's anywhere between 25 and 15, you have three receivers in the top 25 or in the top 20 in the NFL. I mean, like I said the other day, you got the 49ers, Chicago, Miami, Philly, and the Rams can go three deep. And again, I'm taking R3. I'm taking Diggs, Tank, and Nico over Debo, Ayuk, and Jennings and the 49ers. Uh, 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 Moore, Allen, and Scott in Chicago. Um, who's it? Hill, Waddle, and Braxton with the Miami Dolphins. Uh, Philly has Brown, Smith, and Parker, and the Rams have Cup, Puka Nakua, and Robinson. Like those are the top. Those are one, two, three, four, five. Those are the other top trios. I'm taking Tank, Diggs, and Nico over all those. Again, Hill is better than these guys. Is better than these guys individually. I'm taking those guys over them. And now somebody was talking about like I see a podcast. I think it was Pick Your Side podcast. Shout out to them out there at Pick Your Side. They had did a question. They did like rank these offenses without the quarterback win. So, cause we already know quarterbacks make things differently, just specific on skill positions. Uh, the Rams, not the Rams. They had the 49ers one with obviously Ayuk, Debo, Kittles, and Chris McCaffrey. Number two, they had Miami with Hill, Waddle, A Chain. Forgot the other running back was it Mostert? Forgot the other running back was, and then forgot what the tight end is. They had them in number two. Number three, they had Minnesota. Yeah. No, was it Minnesota they had three or Green Bay? I mean, not Green Bay, Philly. I think they might have Philly at three. I think they might have Philly at three with AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, now Saquon Barkley. I forgot. I feel like they had them at fifth. I mean, not fifth. They had them at third. At fourth, they had Minnesota with four they had Minnesota with Jettas and what's his name? Hawkinson, uh, the rookie they just drafted, Addison, and also now you just brought in Aaron Jones, and they had the Texans fifth. So they had the 49ers one, Miami's two, three they had Philly, four they had Minnesota, five they had the Texans. I'm cool with that list outside of three, four, and five. I would put Minnesota three. I would put Houston four, and I'll put the Eagles five. Uh, I would put those. That's how I have it. I have no problem with the 49ers being the best. Again, we're talking about skill positions because obviously quarterbacks make you add quarterbacks into the mix. I think the Texans the Texans Texans are a better offense because you don't know who's going to be in Minnesota. Uh, I think CJ's better than Broad Purdy, obviously. Better than Tua and also better than Jalen Hurts. So we're just talking about strictly skill positions. So 49ers one, have no problem with that. Miami being two with all the speed, definitely have no problem with that. Minnesota, they have the best receiver in the league. They have a very good running back. Uh, um, they got other weapons. They got tight end. I like Minnesota, and I think Minnesota is the third best offense in the NFL. I think Minnesota's the third best offense. Four, I think it's us. Like Stefon Diggs, uh, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz, Joe Mixon, who we did not know was available, by the way. And then number four would be I'm on my Magic. You see the Magic, the number three seed. And if anybody a Milwaukee fan, we coming for that two seed. We played Milwaukee twice in the last three games. We played Milwaukee twice in the last three games, and we only a game back of Milwaukee. Hey, Milwaukee, we coming for that number two seed. Milwaukee, we coming for that number two seed, bro. Just to let you know, bro, we coming for that number two seed. But but yeah, the Texans are definitely, in my opinion, the fourth best offense from a skill position. And I feel like I take them over Philly. I know Philly has AJ Brown. I'll take AJ Brown over any receiver that the Texans have. I do. I, I, I uh, uh, um, I'll take AJ Brown over any of the Texas receivers. AJ Brown, I like AJ Brown. Like AJ Brown, if you give AJ Brown a legitimate quarterback, AJ Brown is AJ Brown is definitely like that. But I'll take I'll take the rest of our receivers over Devontae Smith. And I like Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith is a good receiver. I would love to have Devontae Smith on this team. I think Devontae Smith is not better than the Texan receiver. Uh, and I actually like Joe Mixon, even though I know I was talking about Saquon a lot. I like Joe Mixon over Saquon. Again, the difference is that Joe Mixon was not available at the Joe Mixon didn't come to the situation. No, we didn't know that Joe Mixon was going to be available when he ended up becoming available. We didn't know that. So I do think that that is part of it. So you end up getting out the better running back in that situation. I don't even know who Philly tight end is, but I'll roll with Dalton Schultz. So I feel like our offense skill position players are better again when it comes to the 49ers. Uh, Ayuk, I take Ayuk over any of our receivers. Debo's definitely a good second receiver. Uh, um, they obviously got the better running back in Christian McCaffrey. Like I'll take them. I'll take Minnesota. I'll take Miami. Like just skill position alone, I'll take those guys. I'll take Houston over Philly. So for me, I think the top five skill position offense in the league: 49ers one, Miami two, Minnesota three, Houston four, and Green Bay at five. I mean the Philadelphia five. I'm sorry, Philadelphia five. That's how I feel, and that's more so where I'm leaning at when it comes to these other skill positions, and that's part of the reason why you take that. Look what I just said. I think from a skill position alone, they have a skill position alone. They are the fourth in the NFL, only behind the 49ers. This is the NFC. Now Miami is in the AFC, and then Minnesota once again was in the NFC, and then the team right behind you is the Philadelphia Eagles, which is another AFC team. So on AFC team skill position is in front of you is Miami, and then so okay, the great one, the equalizer amongst the two is obviously the quarterback and C.J. Stroud. Not to mention what you've done on defense. Not to mention what you've done on defense by adding in Daniel Hunter, adding in getting all these guys who have first round grades on them coming out, first round talents, and Jeff Okuda and C.J. Henderson, stuff like that, and also getting a very solid corner in Miles Bryant out of New England. So I believe that they got the pieces that they need. I see more people than jumped in here. Make sure you hit that like button now. Come on, man. Make sure you hit that like button now. I see more people than jumped up in here. You added that to the mix, and you added that to the equation, and add that to the equation, add that to the equation, add that to the mix, rather. I feel like they're the best complete offense in the NFL, or at the very least have the potential to be the best. And then the defense itself, I feel like it's just a factoring defense, and I feel like that's why people are gassing up. You know what I'm saying? Gassing up and overhyping the Houston Texans. It's because they have a reason. Again, I understand it's just on paper. I understand it's on paper. I understand. Oh, it's just on paper, man. Hey, we don't play football on paper. We play football on the turf. We play football in the end zone, whatever the case may be. I understand that and I get it. And again, we just in April right now, early April. Was it the 8th, the 9th, something like that? We in the beginning of April. It's still a long time. We still got a little less than a month left in the draft. The draft is at the end of the month. We still got 3 weeks left for the NFL draft. Still got another 3 more weeks until we drop and see these new jerseys. But there's a reason, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason for all that. It really is. And, I mean, like I said, it's a reason for all that, man. Like I believe that the Houston Texans are getting this hype and this exposure. One, it's the first time in franchise history, and hey, man, it's about time that we get some type of real love, especially the way they've been dogging this guy. I see Stephen A. still does it to this day. To this day, like he says one good thing about the Texans, then has to bring up because I don't like giving them credit because that owner and them McNair's, I don't like how they do black coaches. I don't want to give them credit. Like, bro, you ain't gotta say that. Now, if you would have said stuff like what like Keyshawn said or some other guys have said, hey, Texans looking really good. I mean, think about how far they've come from like just 2 years ago. It was a dumpster fire over there. They've really turned around. Their rebuild was quick. Say something like that, but I'll give you actually giving some type of acknowledgement, some type of acknowledge me. The ones. Hey, it don't matter. We still the ones, but I don't know if y'all get that reference, but we still, we still the ones. But acknowledge what went on for the past couple of years with the Houston Texans and how far they came in a very short time. Like again, this like we didn't suffer long as Texan fans. I know it felt bad. I know part of it got to be with COVID because I mean COVID in general made everything in 2020 just seem so slow paced. It's crazy. Think about that. That COVID was just 4 years ago. Like literally, it was just 4 years ago. It feels like it's been an extremely long time. But I mean, you look at all the other uh, 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 um, look at all the other what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? Look at all the other teams that have to have been through rebuilds. Oh wait, Cody. Hey man, why you gotta get on, why you gotta get on Roman like that, man? Why you gotta get on Roman like that, man? Why you gotta get on the Roman like that, man? Cody, and that stupid story. I gotta finish the story. Nobody cares about that damn story. Story ain't make no sense to begin with. Don't get me started on that. The story itself made no sense, honestly. But don't get me started on that stupid story. Because the story to me was stupid. But I digress. Uh but um the story is stupid. I mean but all these other teams like they've gone through so many years. We've never been to an AFC Championship game, but you see how people talking about in Detroit, how long it took Detroit. It took Detroit since 91, 92 to make it from 91 to 92 to make it to the AFC Championship game. NFC Championship game. Look at Cleveland. All these teams that go so long, all these teams that go so long without a franchise quarterback. And the Texans were just in the playoffs in 2019. I said this numerous times during the dark era of the Texans from 2020 to this past year that I felt like, hey man, I was afraid that we was gonna be one of them teams that didn't make the playoffs for another 20 years, and it's gonna be like 2040, and like, this is the first time Texas made the playoffs since 2019. Like I was afraid that was gonna be the case the way it was going, because you didn't see nothing in sight, didn't see none of this madness ending in sight. But I mean, the rebuild was short, and not only, because we went from 0 to 60. We went from being the number two pick have the number two pick in the draft, should have been number one pick in the draft, to winning the division and winning the playoff game, and now we supercharged it with adding all this talent, upgrading from, again, because we keep on talking specifically about Stefon Diggs, and I put a poll up the other day asking, what was your favorite offseason move? Over 54% said Danielle Hunter. I think it might be 58, 57 or 58. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is about 58. Because it's like 31%, it's only 31% Stefon Diggs. And there's like 7% on Joe Mixon and 2% Jeff Okudah. Reason why, because some people say I'm wrong for putting Jeff Okudah on them. The reason why is for I put Jeff Okudah there specifically for one person, and that's Professor Trill. I know y'all see him in here on my stream. I know you see him on Honcho's stream. Shout out to my boy Honcho. Shout out to everybody on Soft Sports, the whole entire roundtable. Shout out to my boys over there, Wink, Wise, Ray, Swisher, because Swisher in here right now. Shout out to my boy Swisher, Ray, Tenny, Hector. Shout out to everybody on the roundtable, the whole entire Soft Sports. But yeah, shout out to everybody out there. But yeah, I know y'all heard him on his on Trill on Honcho stream, because I know he calls in on Honcho stream all the time. I know he also comments all the time in his stream. He comments on this stream as well. He always sends in a super chat, joking, saying outlandish things, because that's what Trill does. But Jeff Okudah is like one of his favorite players. Like, really one of his favorite players. We was picking an all-time team one time. Like one time in the Discord, shout out to everybody in the Discord. If you ain't part of Discord, hey man, you need to get part of Discord. Great sports conversation at all time. We be talking in there. We was picking an all-time team from it was like we had like one of those drafts, okay? Like, so if you pick a player, can't nobody else pick that player. And one of Trill's picks was Jeff Okudah as a starting corner. was Jeff Okuda. That's how much Trill likes Jeff Okuda. So the reason why I put Jeff Okuda in that poll was specifically for Trill. Because I know that Trill was going to pick Jeff Okuda, and Trill would have asked me why you didn't put Jeff Okuda on there. So I put Jeff Okuda specifically in the poll for him. I knew when nobody gonna pick Jeff Okuda. I'm actually surprised he got two. I'm surprised he got 2%. Cause I think it's like 800 people voted or 900 people voted. I'm surprised that he got 2%. So if you haven't got a chance, go to community tab, go to community wall, and vote for your favorite offseason move because over 58% said Danielle Hunter. Over 58% said Danielle Hunter. And nobody talks about that move. We're constantly talking about and gassing up and overhyping the Texans strictly, specifically off of Stefon Diggs. When that really, to be honest, if you want to be real about everything, is a very small, minute acquisition to this offense, to this team, and the whole grand scheme of the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans was going to be good without Stefon Diggs. The Houston Texans do not need Stefon Diggs to be good. The Houston Texans do not need Stefon Diggs to be the fourth best, to be the second best team in the AFC and be in the AFC Championship game with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, do I believe he's going to be a factor? Yes. Do I believe that he's going to have a say-so and be part of the mix and make big plays throughout the season? Absolutely. But the Texans don't need him for that. We don't need him to get there. We don't. Hey, shout out to my boy Big B. What's good, bro? What's the deal? Okuda or Nelson? At this stage, I'll probably take Okuda because of the age, and what I've seen from Steven Nelson the last like 3 games on the field. I feel like Steven Nelson then gave all. He emptied out the clip. he emptied out the clip. Ain't no more gas left in the tank. It's a rapper. It's a rapper snapper. It's out of there. Like he was running on E. He was running on complete E. So I do believe I do believe that. See, more people have jumped up in here. Make sure that like button, man. More people jump in, but the likes ain't matching the people that's jumping in the chat. So make sure you hit that like button now. Come on now. Come on. It's Monday. Like I said, your boy back. I'm back. I'm be live all week. Maybe not every day. I probably won't be live tomorrow unless some news break. But you'll probably see me again on Wednesday and see me again on Friday. But I'm probably try to sprinkle in some videos here and there. So make sure that like button, man. And again, I see some people here talking about Cody. Man, if you a Cody crybaby, man, hit the like, hit the like button. Hit the like button. If you a Cody crybaby, hit the like button. I'm just playing. They said shout out to Cody Rose and all the Cody fans. I have no issue with the American Nightmare. I got no issue with Cody. I just want I want to see Rock versus Roman. I want to see Rock versus Roman. I want to see Rock versus Roman. So. That's really what it is. I just want to. I didn't want to see this. I didn't want to see the tag team match. I want to see Rock versus Roman. That's what I want to see. Only teams that not to bring a trophy to the H: Cougs, Texans, Roughnecks, and Gamblers. I know technically the Roughnecks like didn't bring a trophy, but like they were like the COVID year, like they was undefeated, like they was the champions. COVID was the only team that was able to beat the Roughnecks. But yeah, yeah, because UVA hasn't won a title in any capacity. I know they made it to two national championship games under Dream. I know they haven't won nothing in football because they haven't been a Power 5 until now. Trying to think. The only teams that's won championship for the city of Houston is the Astros, the Rockets, and the Comets. That they the only teams that they the only teams that won a championship for Houston. No, I'm a Rock fan. Oh, for sure. For sure, I'm a Rock fan too. Rock's still not my favorite wrestler. It's Stone Cold. I'm from the state of Texas. We got Rock. We got Rock. We got Rock with the home team. You know what I'm saying? Boy, Victoria. You know what I'm saying? Uh, yeah, H Town. I am doing. I'm definitely doing a draft day stream. I'm streaming both days. I am definitely streaming both the first round, even though we don't have a pick. I'm gonna do a live stream, and I'm also gonna do one for rounds rounds 2 and 3 on the second days. And we're gonna be doing a soft stream too. The details on the details on what we're doing, we haven't ironed out everything, because I know the last 2 years, the last 2 years we've done them at Crafty Crab. As we've done them, that's what we've done them at the last 2 years. We might do it there again this year, but it's not completely, because we some other things might have come up, and we might be trying to do something a little bit more differently. So we'll see exactly. We'll see exactly what we're gonna do. Uh, we're gonna see exactly what we're gonna do. But we definitely are doing the stream. Like, I know Honcho's doing the Soft Sports stream. I'm definitely doing my stream as well, so you can catch both our streams. Uh, I don't know. I might not do the stream throughout the whole draft. I'll see exactly how we'll play. We'll see. Everything has to. Don't say we haven't ironed out all the details, and we still got a couple more weeks. But I understand time is ticking. But we are definitely doing one. Once we have the location and everything to the draft party, I will definitely be one of the first ones to let y'all know here, community information in the on Instagram and stuff like that. It will definitely be known, and we gonna get it rocking, man. We gonna get it shocking. We gonna get it rocking. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause this draft is going to be very, very eventful. It very much is. I mean, no matter how you look at it, no matter how you slice it, it's going to be a very, very eventful draft. It really is. It's going to be a draft. It's going to be eventful, because now, one, we're not desperate for a quarterback. We're going to the draft, like I've been saying, we're not going into the draft desperate for any position. We got a receiver, we got a quarterback, so we don't have to sit back and be at the mercy of the draft, because unless you have a top 5 pick, you are at the mercy of the draft. And even then, unless you have the first pick in the draft, you're at the mercy of what somebody else does in front of you. But I would say, if you're in the top 5, because you pretty much know how that's going to pretty much go for the most part. There's very few surprises, like huge surprises in the top 5, so you know exactly how things go. Being at pick 23 where we originally were at, and now being at pick 42 where we're currently at, everything can happen. I mean, 41 people are going to be taken off the board and draft before it's our turn to draft. So we're basically, like I've been saying, at the mercy of the draft as far as who you're going to select, because you don't know who's going to be available. But now, because of what Nick Casario has done off-season wise, all the things that he's added, again, even though we've added 2 big pieces in both Stefon Diggs and also Joe Mixon, y'all do realize we've only had 4 moves offensively, and 2 of those were re-signing Dalton Schultz and Noah Brown. We've only made 4 moves total on offense, and 2 of them was a re-sign, And one of that, and only one of those was a starter. The other one is now your fourth receiver at best, and more than likely your fifth or sixth receiver. Like, there's a very good chance that Noah Brown doesn't make this team. There's a very good chance that when September starts, after training camp, after the preseason, the actual 53-man roster, there is a chance that Noah Brown's not even on the 53-man. So, and he's one of your four moves offensively. Now, obviously, the other two is trade for Joe Mixon and also now just trade for Stefon Diggs. But those are your moves. So, I mean, defensively, you made three signings in the DB room alone on the cornerback side. You made three cornerback signings. You signed, I think, two safeties. You signed with three edge rushers, linebackers. You signed like there is so much they've done on defense. I would not be surprised and shocked if they I wouldn't be surprised or shocked if they did something offensively in the draft early on. It wouldn't surprise me or shock me. It wouldn't. I believe that they're going to that Nick himself is going to look at how the draft board falls. He's going to look at how the draft board falls, and he's going to pick according to his board. If he has AD at what, first round grade, and AD makes it with if AD has a first round grade and AD falls at pick 42, he might take AD. He might. I think that Sweat might be moved off the board or moved further down the board. Because of these issues. I want to talk about that too. There's something I want to talk about because I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't get how you are so close to the NFL draft, and this is not the first time. Swift's not the first person to have done this. You're right. You're about to get drafted to the NFL. You're about to make millions of dollars. The first time, well, I mean, now you got NLL, so people are touching. So people are getting money all the time now. They touching millions of dollars now. You're about to get millions upon millions of dollars and achieve your dream of being an NFL player, and you can't sit down. Oh man, he was just partying, man. He a kid, he young, blah blah blah. I think those are excuses. I do. Because there's a whole bunch of old people out there too. Vince Young, 40 years old, getting punched in the club. Vince Young is 40 years old getting punched in the club. Like, some people just can't stay. They keep finding themselves in situations. And me personally, if I was in a situation, if I'm about to get ready to go to the draft, bro, like I just finished college, I'm about to go into the NFL draft. Only thing I'm doing is working on training. I'm going to the pro day. I'm going to the NFL combine. I'm doing my pro day for my school. My school's pro day, whatever. I'm doing my 30 visits, the personal team workouts, all those type of things. Yeah, all that. I'm not going out. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not going out because anything can happen. Like anything, like a fight break out in the club ain't got nothing to do with you. But you get in it broke out and you happen to be at the club and now hey, they said you was at the club. Or hey, fight broke out and hey, bullet ain't got no name on it, bro. Glass ball ain't got no name on it, bro. Like anything, I'm not putting myself in any of them situations. Let me get drafted to this NFL. Let me get into this NFL. Let me start working out. Let me start working in the NFL. Let me start playing some games and showcase what I'm doing. Then, after my rookie year, and I'm not even saying like let loose, let my head. I ain't saying going crazy, but I can start, you know what I'm saying, enjoying some of the fruit. And then even then, I probably still be too busy focused on work. I don't even know then. To me, I think relaxing is more so chilling at the crib. 'Cause I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm not like a club person. I never was. Uh, like my freshman year in college, like the first semester of my freshman year, I probably went out, like, you know what I'm saying, like every weekend, every other weekend type situation, you know what I'm saying? We would go out on, we had it'd be parties on Thursdays, be at the club on Friday, clubs on Saturdays. Could normally be like little parties and stuff, like little on campus parties and stuff like that, or parties in general, like on Thursday nights. You know, most people only have class on Fridays. Like most college kids, we don't have class on Fridays, or if you did have a class, like a little bull class, or you only had like a 1 hour class or something like that. Like it wasn't really too much going on Friday. Very rarely did anybody. I don't even the whole time I was in college, I don't remember anybody that had a full college day on Fridays. I mean, most people ain't have a full college day throughout the week anyway. They might have like two classes on Monday, two classes on Tuesday, two classes on Wednesday, two classes on Thursday, no class or one class on Friday. Now again, some of them classes do be 3 hours. Some of them classes do be 4. I mean, some of them classes be long, but so you will be in class for like 6 hours of a day if you had 2 3 hour classes. But most people wasn't really, like I'm saying, like really going to school, like really had they days of schooling like that anyway. But like I was saying, like Thursdays is normally like somebody be throwing a party, an on campus party, or somebody doing something on Thursdays. And in some places, like some bars and clubs would have special events on Thursdays and stuff like that. Obviously, Fridays and Saturday nights. But like I said, my freshman year of college, my first half, my first semester of my freshman year, yeah, I partied. I went out. I ain't even really say party like that. I went out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it wouldn't even be, I wouldn't be, I'm going out Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I didn't do that. Like, I'll probably go out one of those nights that week, and I might not even go out the next week. And then, like, and sometimes I did go out back to back weeks, whatever. But really, after that, after my first semester, my freshman year, my second semester in my freshman year, in my sophomore year, I didn't go out like that. It was like very, very rare. It might, hey man, hey, we doing something. All right, cool. See y'all when I see y'all, or I might go over there. Might see what's going down. But like, me myself as not a partying person. And then as I became an adult, I don't go out to clubs and do none of that stuff. No way. Like I don't. I'm not a partying person. So maybe it's just my mentality. I have a different type of personality. I don't party like that. No way. Regardless. So I just think that it's stupid and foolish. You're on the cusp of achieving your childhood dream, and you get in trouble like that. I just think that's stupid. Right, acting right for a month and then get you there. My thing is this though, bro. That's my thing. From January to April, because the draft is in April, and your college season should have ended in the end of December. By what your college season ended by, okay, you got the New Year, was it like the New Year's Day game or New Year's Eve game, like, so your college season should ended around, like, again, I understand January, no New Year's, all that type of stuff. I get all that, understand. Okay, cool, boom. All right, so from January to April, you can't chill. If you cannot chill from January to April, you have a problem. If you can't refrain from drinking, partying, smoking, or whatever it is your vices, whatever it is that you do, from January to April, knowing that you're about to get millions of dollars. I'm not even talking about you just chilling just to be chilling, just to stop chilling. Like I'm not talking about us as regular common folk who just, hey, we gonna chill just to chill. This could get you, you sitting here chilling, gets you millions, tens to twenties of millions of dollars. And you can't sit down and chill, you have a problem. You have a problem. And that's the bigger issue of anything. Because the issue is never all those things, none of those things are ever the issue. Honestly. If you want to keep it all the way above partying, drinking, smoking, partying, all those things by themselves in isolated instance are never the problem. The problem, gambling, all that type of stuff, those are never the problems. They're isolated things. They're not problems. The problem is that you have a problem. That's the actual problem with it. It's not the vice itself. It's never the vice itself. It's the person who has a problem because they can't stop doing it. That makes it a problem because you cannot stop. It's not the vice. The vice is by itself. The vice itself doesn't do anything. It's the person that constantly keeps on doing it. The person who constantly keeps on partying. The person that constantly keeps on drinking. The person that constantly keeps on doing whatever it is they're doing. Smoking, gambling, whatever it is, whatever the vice is. The person that constantly keeps on doing it, if they have a problem, therefore it makes the vice itself a problem. And that's the bigger issue. So if you can't sit down for the next 3 months to get millions upon millions of dollars, you have an issue. And once you get these millions upon millions of dollars, you are going to be an even bigger problem. Like stuff like that. If you can't stop partying, you don't need to be in Miami. You don't need to be in Vegas. You don't need to be in LA. You don't need to be in New York. You don't need to be in New Orleans. You don't need to be in Atlanta. And you don't need to be in Houston. If you cannot stop partying, if partying was an issue that you had to talk to teams before this incident, you had to talk to teams because you could not stop partying. Or you had partying issues or incidents or whatever. And then you get caught with a DWI before the draft. Like, 3 weeks before the draft. Vegas, LA, New York, Miami, Atlanta, Houston, and Dallas, because you're from Texas. You don't need to be in those. You don't need to be in none of those situations. You'd be put in Indianapolis somewhere, Minnesota, Green Bay, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Washington, like Seattle, Washington. You'd be stuck somewhere there. But I mean, I guess anywhere you go, I mean, you're gonna have money, millions upon millions of dollars. You can go wherever you want to go. So I mean, that's really not no excuse either. But anyway, I mean, I just think that I don't know. I was wondering if the Texans would go after Sweat before this incident. That they was at the pro day and stuff like that. I don't know. Again, I say this all the time. That with all the captains that you have with D'Amico Ryans and CJ and Will Anderson, and then you also all the guys that you drafted last year were captains on their teams. The teams that you drafted before, you drafted a lot of captains and put a lot of captains in leadership. I mean, you go out there and go get Joe Mixon, who was a captain for the last 3 years or 4 years in Cincinnati. Like guys who have strong leadership qualities on their team, and show leadership qualities and credentials, that you be able to take on some people who are rough around the edges, who got issues. That's why I think that Stefon Diggs is not going to be a problem here. you can be able to take on some of that, but then also at the same time, you can't just go out and just get everybody that's a character and has issues because you don't want to constantly you don't constantly want to drain the team. Remember, no energy vampires. Yeah, I said. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he can. I don't think he can lead them. Like to me, if you had issues, if you had issues before the draft that you had to talk to teams about it, had to explain your previous. If it's something that we got to discuss previously, because it's an issue and we have to talk about it, and then you get caught with it again, or not caught with it again, but end up getting caught in a situation. Like I used to say this all the time, and I know I might be in the minority, and that's fine. I'm in the minority, but again, years later, kind of keeps on proving me right because I mentioned it earlier when it came to VY. Like I know a lot of people wanted Vince Young to be a Houston Texan when he would come out in the draft in 2006. It wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't have worked because of off the field issues. Him being too close to home. Him being too close to home. Some of the people he had a lot riding on him. He had a lot of people who been coming out of the woodworks, and a lot of family members and friends and high school teammates and a whole bunch of other different things that it just wouldn't have worked in Houston. It wouldn't have. It would have fell apart. It would have. It just would have. I do believe the majority of what happened with his career had a lot to do with Jeff Fisher, but some of it was VY's doing as well. And VY needs to take accountability of that. And then he goes back to UT where he's a king in UT, can't do no wrong. And has had to leave UT on several different occasions by getting DWIs and all type of stuff. And those are the instances that we know about. I'm pretty sure that VY has been stopped and been stopped plenty of times in Austin. And them cops, hey man, VY, get out of here, man. Like, go, bro. Get out of here, man. Or let me drive you home, bro. Like all type of stuff. I'm pretty sure that happened. So the instances that he gets caught in, those are the ones that we know about. We don't know about the ones that we don't know about. Don't know about the ones we don't know about. We don't know about the ones we don't know about. And like I said earlier, he's 40 years old, over 40 years old actually, inside a club getting punched. Like, I don't see Tom Brady being punched in clubs. I don't see Peyton Manning getting punched in clubs. I don't see I don't see Tony Romo getting punched in a club. I don't see like I don't see other quarterbacks in the NFL getting punched in clubs. I don't see it because they don't find themselves in those type of situations. VY at the age of 40 being away from the NFL for the last what 15 years? Well, Vince Young last year I think it was in 2011. Yeah. So last what 13 years. Vince Young been out of the NFL for 13 years, 13, 14 years. Vince Young been out of the NFL. He's over 40 years old. He still finds himself in precarious situations. It's him, bro. It's him. It's him. Can't help themselves for whatever it is. Whatever it is. I'm not saying that he's not able to go out and have a good time. I'm not saying that because you can. You grown. You do what you want to do. But you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be in a situation where you just getting punched randomly in the club for whatever reason. Whatever reason, you shouldn't find yourself in these situations. And again, it's not one off. It's not like it's like the first time ever, in first time ever you find yourself in that type of situation. Like he's had all type of issues prior. Like, he's never done nothing egregious, but he's been, you know what I'm saying, he's got several DWIs. He's had to leave UT several times. With a little, they little roll, the little bull roll that they was giving to make no basically the same face at UT. He had to walk away from it like two times on two separate occasions because he's gotten DWIs. I think he had got DWI as recently as 2022, 2021, 2022. That's very fairly recent. Like I said, for a guy who's been out of the NFL since 2011. So we're talking about a guy in his late 30s, early 40s, still find themselves in weird situations because they can't help themselves. Can't help themselves. And the players got, I mean, these people have to start taking accountability of these things. Just got to. And then nobody pulled up on Favre. No, I'm not saying that Noah's not gonna make the team. I'm just saying. I mean, what I'm saying is, because as of right now, Noah's the fourth receiver on the team. Yeah, he's the fourth receiver on the team because you have obviously the three is Tank, Nico, and Diggs. So Noah's the fourth one. Uh, yeah, I guess you got Woods, Mechie, and Hutchinson. Yeah, so you got seven receivers. Like, as of right now, you got seven receivers. You're gonna carry six. Uh, I think Robert Woods probably end up getting cut before the season starts, or they walk away because, again, like I said, they saved $5 million and he's what, fourth in of a cap hit. His cap hit is fourth, and they'll save $5 million by letting him go. That's another reason why I believe money. That's what I said. They don't have to have they don't have to make cap off alterations. They don't have to make cap alterations, so they can save $5 million by getting rid of Woods. So that takes you back down to six. But hey, I do think they're going to add a receiver in this draft. Again, they might not add one early on, but I can see them adding another receiver in this draft. And I feel like I actually think they'll end up adding two, as far as like they'll add a receiver in this draft. I think they'll add an undrafted free agent. Again, undrafted free agent probably going to be cut. But again, if these guys are showing promise, and Mechie and Hutchinson are looking well as well, I can see if if you draft a receiver, we'll just say they draft Devon Baker or McCaffrey or Brandon Rice in the fourth round, and just say everybody looks good. Obviously, the three that we know look good. But say your rookie that you draft out, your rookie you draft looks good. Mechie and Hutchinson, all three of them look good, and Noah Brown looks good too. I feel like that in a musical chair situation that we're only gonna keep six, and we have seven. Noah Brown could be an odd man out. That's what I mean by that. That's what I mean by that. I don't think he will be. I don't think that as of right now he's not gonna get cut, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Hey man, shout out that boy Rue for the super chat. Love, definitely appreciate that. What's good, Spence already, man? Hey, ain't nothing good, ain't nothing good, ain't nothing. Well, actually, it's all good. Let me take that back. Ooh, let me take that back. Everything good, everything good in the hood. Everything is good. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. Let me take that back, because everything good, guys, ain't nothing good. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. God forgive me. I'm so sorry. Everything is good. Everything is good. We is definitely good. Everything is good. Hey, yo, read your last comment. The Texans have been legit scary. Absolutely, bro. You absolutely right. Like like the Texans have definitely been on the verge. Like I said, like the Texans had. I said this going not going into the season, going into offseason. I said this in the playoffs that the Texans were getting ready to scare some folks. C.J. Stroud and the Texans going to be able to scare some people. And you absolutely right that uh you absolutely right that the Texans have definitely put the league on notice by with these acquisitions. But the team itself was already like that. Like the team expectations was already AFC Championship game. That was the team aspirations and the expectations and aspirations already. Like that's what we expected for them when the season ended. We gotta get to an AFC Championship game, and we have to put ourselves in that position to get to an AFC Championship game. By how it comes, we gotta find a way to put ourselves in that position to get to an AFC Championship game. That's the reason why you had to upgrade everywhere that you upgrade at. You had to upgrade your edge rusher. Hey, Jonathan Gennard, you had career high sacks, double digit sacks, bro. You were a third round pick, you know the previous regime. But hey, we appreciate that. But you're not healthy all the time. You still have not played a full season. Daniil Hunter's from the city. He's a better pass rusher than you. Instead of paying you $19 million, we'll pay that to him. Bring him home on a 2-year deal because we're going for the gold now. Hey, we need to upgrade the running back position. Again, they might have been the Saquon Barkley line a little bit too long. Hey, and everybody else started getting taken off the shelves. You weren't able to sign somebody else. Luckily, Joe Mixon became available, and they pulled the trigger. And we started making all of them deals. And again, we tried. The rumor is that we tried to go after Ken Allen, but the Chargers smartly. I ain't gonna lie. It was very smart of the Chargers. Weird because I don't see them in the situation to compete, but very smart of the Chargers to not give C.J. Stroud Keenan Allen. It was very smart of the Chargers. It was very smart of the Chargers. But hey, Stefon Diggs, come on down. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if y'all watched Price is Right growing up, but Stefon Diggs, hey, come on down. And hey, Stefon Diggs is added to the team, and now this team is now even more scary, or like Chris Broussard says, terrifying. Because I think we are. Oh, and you tripping talking about the Magic gonna lose 4 straight, boy you out of there. Well, Magic ain't losing 4 straight. Like I said, we play the Rockets tomorrow night. Hey, H-Town. Hey, listen. I know y'all Rockets fans. I understand that. I get it. I understand. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Listen. Hey, we trying to make it to the number 2 seed. There's no trash talk. I'm not gonna talk no type of trash, nothing like that. I'm just saying, we on the mission to get to the number 2 seed. We got the Rockets. Who we got next after the Rockets? Is it Milwaukee? Cause I know we play Milwaukee, Philly, Milwaukee. I guess it is only 4 games left. I don't know why I thought it was 5 games left. I guess it is only 4 games left. So it's the Rockets, Milwaukee, Philly, Milwaukee. We winning one of the Milwaukee games and we beating Philly. And I feel like we're gonna beat the Rockets. We probably gonna lose one of the Milwaukee games, but I feel like we're gonna win one and we're gonna beat Philly. And all we need is that one. All we need is one of those games to get the number 2 seed. Look, as a Magic fan, I just want to be the. I just really personally just want to be a 4 seed, so we have home court advantage for at least one playoff series, and I want to win a playoff game. I mean, I want to win a playoff series because the Magic have not won a playoff series outside of Dwight Howard or Shaquille O'Neal being on the team. Any playoff series the Magic have ever won was in the Shaq era or in the Dwight era. Other than that, any other time we made the playoffs in the Trace McGrady time, uh, and the time right after Shaq left, the one time they made it to the playoffs with Penny, without Shaq, the one time they made it to the playoffs without Dwight Howard, and then the, the last two times we made the playoffs under Vooch, Aaron Gordon and that squad back in 19 and back in 20, we couldn't win playoff series. So trying to win playoff series for the first time without those two guys. Uh, but yeah, but I want to also have home court advantage too, so we have majority of the home games. But that's another conversation for another time though. But that's a conversation for another time. But Magic definitely gonna we not losing 4 straight. You tripping? Texans versus KC week 1 prime time game. Yeah, I've been saying it since before the Chiefs even won Super Bowl. I was like, the Chiefs won Super Bowl. That should be the season opener. And yeah, I think it's dang near cemented. It might not be cemented yet. I think it's almost cemented. I really do. I believe it's right there. It's on the cusp of being cemented. If it hasn't been cemented, I think it's on the cusp of being cemented. Texans and Chiefs to kick off the season, which is weird. I seen something about like NFL seasons being on repeat. Because in 2019 the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. 2020, well, the 2019 season, but it ended up happening in 2020. Chiefs won the Super Bowl. Chiefs won the Super Bowl this year. Lamar Jackson won the MVP. Lamar Jackson won the MVP. A receiver gets traded for, it seems like, personal issues with the team. A receiver seems like he gets traded for personal issues with the team. It's like, oh, wait a minute. Like, hey, man, is stuff on repeat? What's going on? We're going to the Super Bowl. Nothing stopping us. Yeah, Cashman for Aziz. I mean, like we don't talk about those type of additions. You sure right, bro. We don't talk about those type of additions, and we need to. Everything has been so focused specifically about about Stefon Diggs. When I don't, Stefon Diggs is a piece, but it's not what's keeping everything pushing forward. But it is what it is, man. Appreciate everybody that came through here. Hey man, shout out to that boy Rue for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that, Rue. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for the super chat love. If you ain't hit the like button already, make sure you hit that like button. If you ain't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Also, if you haven't, if you one of the people who haven't, go to the community tab and go vote for your favorite off-season acquisition. Again, it's still up there, so you can always go post. Go post if you ain't posted already. If you ain't, hey, and if you have, hey, don't forget you can leave a comment. You ain't got to just, but hey, you could leave a comment. I picked this person because boom, 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 whatever. Like I said, your boy back. You know what I'm saying? Your boy back. Feeling back 100% to myself. So there will be more. There will be videos this week. Like I said, I couldn't go live last week because I felt like, I felt like crap last week. Like even in the stream when I went live because we traded for Stefon Diggs. After that, boy, I was holding together by glue, boy. Like as soon as the stream went off, I was out of there. I felt bad. So I'm back. So you will see. I probably won't go live tomorrow unless something happens. Now, hey, we go out there, we sign Simmons and Quandre Diggs, something like that, because that move can still be made too. I will go live, but probably I definitely see y'all on Wednesday. Definitely see y'all on Friday. And I'll probably like some sprinkle in some pre-recorded videos and some other stuff here and there. Cause I do got a video I'm gonna drop. Cause even though I say Stefon Diggs is a small acquisition, he's not the reason why we'll make it to an AFC Championship game or win the Super Bowl. I do want to show the effect And I will break down the absolute effect of Stefon Diggs onto Texans. That video will be coming sometime this week. Uh, Again, definitely gonna be doing a live stream for the draft. I will let y'all know the details, the when, the where, the how, the why, how you be a part of it, and things like that. So be on the lookout for that. Shout out to everybody that came through here. Definitely appreciate that. Everybody hit that like button. If you ain't hit the like button already, make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're hitting the, hey, we still in the race to get the 6,000 subscribers. So I need you to tell a friend, and tell a friend, tell a friend, tell some more friends, and put them on game with the channel so we can get growing and growing. Really, really appreciate that. So make sure you like, you share, you subscribe, and you click that bell to get more videos so we can get the channel to 6,000 subscribers. Definitely appreciate that. Uh, so like I said, be on the lookout, and I'll let everybody know all the details for all the other stuff coming up. I holla.